Hello, my wonderful busy homemakers. How are you today? I thought I'd do something different today. It's summertime almost, and we're all getting in the mood. It's June, the kids are out of school, the kids are graduating, and we want to lighten it up during the summer. Keep it a little light and simple. So today I thought I'd talk about the frog who wanted to live with me. Yes, I said live with me, and I mean live with me. And this is one of those stories that you just don't expect it to happen, and it probably won't never happen again in a million years. It's one of those things. But I'll never forget it. I had some experience that I just never forget, and this is one of them. Now, it was early in the morning. I was up. I was in the family room on my computer and trying to get some work done. And I want to say it was a weekend. I want to say it was Saturday morning. And I'm on the computer typing away. And the next thing I know, something out of the corner of my eye, I see move. I'm like, wait a minute. I know that's not my cat. My cat's not that small. And I'm like, and I kind of shook it off. Went back to my typing. And again, I saw something like, I'm like, oh no. And I turned my little chair around to look, and I'm looking down, and I'm like, here's a frog in my house, and this was a good sized frog. And I'm like, I'm like, how the heck did he get in the house? Was it raining last night? Did he come in through the door when it was raining when somebody came in? He didn't want to be outside? I'm thinking, how in the heck? Of course, he's looking at me and I'm looking at him, and we're staring at each other. He's not even moving because he knows he's been spotted. And I'm thinking, how am I going to get this frog out of here? I'm the only one up. Nobody else is up. I'm like, and I'm thinking, what do I do? So I grabbed a bucket. And the first thing I could think of was I had to sneak around him to get the bucket real slowly, because I don't want him moving and jumping all over the place. So I'm sneaking around him to grab the bucket. And I'm watching him, and I'm come with this bucket, and I finally boof right over his head. Okay, that's fine. I got the frog. Now, the other question is, this is an upside down bucket. He's in this bucket. How am I going to get this bucket out of the house? And I'm like, son of a gun, what do I do? So I'm thinking, and I'm like, oh gosh, what do I do? So I had to come up with something fast. So I'm going to show you. I found a piece of cardboard. It's a plain piece of cardboard. And I'm like, I got it from a cereal box because I saved the resealable cereal boxes, and I store my cardboard recycles in there. I fold them and store them in there so they don't overwhelm the recycling bin. So I took the cereal box cover. I ripped off the cover, and I got the cover of the cereal box. And I'm trying to slip it underneath the bucket real carefully, and I'm trying to real slowly because I don't want to hurt the frog, and I'm slipping it under there real slowly, trying to get him to get in this bucket. And I'm like, okay, now I got the cardboard under the bucket. How do I pick this up? So I'm like, ugh. So I managed to hold the cardboard somehow. I don't even know how. With two hands, and then flip the bucket over, and I got the cardboard, and I'm like, I don't know if you're in here or not, but you're not on the floor. So here's me with this bucket. And I'm trying to get out the door, and I've got both hands on the bucket, the top, and I'm holding the bucket on the bottom so he doesn't jump out at me because I'm trying to hold the top on. I'm like, how am I going to get that door open? So I put the bucket down on the dryer, and I'm trying to hold the bucket and open the door, and I'm trying to with one hand, hold the lid on the bucket, trying to get the door open. I finally got that door open. I got it to hook on the screen door. I had to hook on the thing, and I left it open. I grabbed the bucket, the top and the bottom again. I made it to the gate, the backyard gate. I'm like, ah. So I had to like unlatch the gate. So I had to put the bucket down, hold the lid on again. And I get in there, and I'm running toward the big area of land that's further away, and I'm running over there. And keep in mind, the back door is open and everybody's sleeping. And I'm running. And I finally took off the cardboard on the top of the bucket, and I kind of just whooshed him into the ground, and I ran back home. I saw him laying on the ground, and he's kind of just walking around looking, and and I get back home. I get the screen door, and I check, and I'm looking around. Okay, everything's okay. And I sit down on my computer, and lo and behold, my husband comes home. He wasn't around. He's the first one that came home. The rest were sleeping. And I said, really? And I got mad at him. I'm like, you had to come home now? You couldn't come home 20 minutes earlier? When I'm sitting here with my new frog that wants to be my friend, and he's looking at me like, okay, you're cracking up. And I'm like, you don't know what I went through with this frog in my house. I'm like, you weren't here, and blah, blah, blah. He got an earful. And he's laughing. I said, yeah, I'm glad you think it's funny. But I thought that would lighten up your day. Let me know if you're watching me. Hashtag on replay. I can't even talk. I got frogs on the brain now. Ribbit. So that is my famous frog story. Yes, things happen to people. Yes, 1 in a million things happen. And sometimes you just don't know how you're going to deal with it till a situation happens, and you don't expect it to happen. You can't predict it. I want to hear your funny story. What happened to you? And see if it's as crazy as my story. Ladies, thank you so much for your time. And I will see you next week on the live. And it's going to be interesting to see what training you get for next week. Dum, dum, dum. Bye, ladies.